My girlfriend called me into the living room last night. She wanted me to watch an ad she had received on YouTube. She had paused it because the intro was so bizarre she immediately knew that the 2 minute and 30-second long video was going to be extremely weird. She was right. It was very weird. The commercial started with the narration of a woman with a heavy accent.
Me, and I would like to give you a few reasons why you should consider dating a young Asian lady.
And proceeded to show a supercut of what appeared to be completely random Asian women's social media videos. That is to say, none of these appeared to be videos intended for commercial purposes, but rather looked like someone had spliced together stuff they had taken off of public profiles of random users and influencers.
You can choose a potential spouse from Vietnam, the Philippines, Thailand, or Indonesia. The geography is boundless. Have you noticed that Asian women have become more and more popular? I mean that they are everywhere, in famous magazine, on Instagram as top bloggers, on the runways, and on billboards.
I was dumbfounded. The audio made me laugh out loud, the video gave me the creeps, and the absurd website name featured in my commercial, AsianMoonshine.com, immediately caught my eye. There was something eerie about the commercial. I thought maybe this was some kind of human trafficking operation. I wanted to show others the commercial, so I googled AsianMoonshine.com commercial, but there was nothing in the video results. I googled the domain and it returned some index pages that again made me laugh. This hilarious wording stood out, so I googled it again. Why do Asian girls are perfect for European men? Which is how I stumbled upon the YouTube video someone had uploaded for the same ad that they had gotten, except theirs was AsiaLoveMagazine.com. We immediately recognized the commercial as the one we had just seen. I decided to search for the text I had seen in the body of one of the searches. Why do Asian girls are perfect for Canadian men? In this case, subbing out the original European for Canadian. I noticed the name Love Slavic Ladies in the URL and tried another search. I find another URL, Epiblog, which for some reason still has a mindboggle.com title in the header, which, while now defunct, shares a similar Whois result as Epiblog and is likely made by the same person. Not to mention some weird Facebook pages that appear as well. On top of that, I found a Reddit profile that did nothing but cross-post totally random videos and post spam links to these websites. Interestingly enough, this does appear to be a real person's Reddit account where they were active in Wicca in September of 2021 before they started posting spam. This coincides with the creation date of AsianMoonshine.com. Which brings me to this set of videos that I am calling I Shouldn't Have Clicked That, where I intentionally click things that, well, I probably shouldn't have. I mean, honestly, who would want to click that Asian Moonshine link after watching that creepy video? Well, this guy. That's who. If you care, it's an 8 CPU virtual machine running Windows Server 2016, accessed from another virtual machine. For the uninformed, I'm not doing this on my home PC. It's a fake computer accessed on a disposable machine on a disposable network, so to speak. Alright, let's jump into this. I'm gonna go ahead and take my shot quiz and find out if I'm right for this community. I like that it gives me an I'm not interested in them option. What do you make out of age difference? I'm gonna have to go with I like both. A female member wants to visit me. I'm gonna go with hot spot in the city, I think. If she takes the first step, Well, gosh, that's okay. Alright, I can see a bit.ly URL, so I'm gonna copy the bit.ly URL and I am gonna use X-ray URL and just see where it points to. So I'm gonna paste, and immediately I realize that it is not a real bit.ly URL at all. Actually, it's a fake shortened URL, and I can see it in the bottom lower hand. It's a loveasiamagazine.com URL. So there's the answer to that. So click it, and congrats. It looks like I passed the test. Very good results, I might add, too. And I may now see their list of young single Asian women that are currently online. Which brings me to a blank page on orchidromance.com. Well, I found the goal was simple. It wanted to forward me to the orchidromance.com landing page, but the script simply failed, likely due to a change of the landing page location. The whole purpose of all these blogs and the subsequent 2.5 minute long YouTube ads is to take me to this dating website, but they managed to fuck up on some step, and I was left on a blank page that contained nothing more than some JS code. Why this failed, I don't know. It linked to a specific subdirectory of the orchidromance.com instead of the base domain. But now I knew they were trying to refer me to orchidromance.com. From there, I set out to learn more about Orchid Romance using the most powerful research tool at my disposal, Google on Microsoft Edge. Orchid Romance must have paid Google AdSense because here they are as a sponsored search result. I click the link, but I'm brought to a broken page. You can't log in, you can't click OK. None of the buttons work. The code doesn't actually show any interactive elements. And that's cool, because I see I'm still in a subdirectory of the actual Orchid Romance domain, another defunct landing page. What is up with these? Let's check out the main site directory, simply orchidromance.com. Now this makes sense. It's weird that it was this hard to get to a working landing page, but I have arrived. It's clearly a dating website, albeit a very shady looking one. But we have our payload. This site obviously exists to get your money, personal info, or perhaps both. Before I move on, another thing that stood out to me was the site only advertises women. Although the sign-up page allows you to select from binary gender options, it doesn't appear you can even use the site to find men. While other dating sites may have struggled to find a safe space or adequately accommodate its users that don't fit into a binary category, Orchid Romance is actually refreshing with a more evolved gender singularity approach. That is to say, there is only one gender, and that gender is Asian woman. And now it's time to check out reviews and see what others have to say about this site. For those of you who don't know what Trustpilot is, it's like Yelp for websites, except even less people give a shit about what is on there, and even more insane people post reviews. I immediately found an explanation of how their scam works. The website sells credits, which are purchased with fiat currency, although it appears the prices are all listed/charged in USD, despite many of the reviewers being from the UK or Australia and not understanding this. Whether this is intentional or an oversight of the user is not clear. The credits are spent to send messages, receive messages, and send gifts to girls on the site. Gift options seem to be predetermined by the site. For example, roses keep coming up, often expressed to be very costly. People who sign up are engaged immediately by fake profiles, spending all of their credit and being forced to buy more in order to facilitate more communication. Others seem to understand something shady is happening on the site, but seem more convinced that their interactions with women are genuine. Now, people say the site filters contact information from being sent. Users complain that girls attempt to send them addresses, emails, and phone numbers, only for it to be redacted. But a much more likely explanation is that the girls themselves are sending redacted info, or they're at least intentionally avoiding leaking info. For example, it's not uncommon to circumvent this in eBay or Fiverr by including your info in a hidden image, or by simply spelling out symbols or common email providers phonetically. Oftentimes, when a member expresses distrust or disinterest, the girl recommends a different dating site with a similar or even identical pay model to communicate on, and the cycle can begin again. Some users fall for this. Some users stated that they were instructed to upload scans of their driver's license, passport, or other sensitive info for verification to meet the girls. Many users report that their accounts become inaccessible or verification failed after giving their info out. Remember before when I said it was stealing info, money, or both? Well, it looks like it's both. Some things that stood out to me on the initial review page. There are pretty obviously fake positive reviews all over it. They are all written in such a way that no one with good reading comprehension would think they were real. Unfortunately, it does look like they've convinced some people. They responded to almost every negative review in cookie-cutter fashion, with long-winded explanations about their security or verification process, while always signing it with Orchid Romance support. Again, at a glance, it might look like a professional response, but each response is so canned it doesn't address the obvious nature of the site. One person is so upset they actually posted their home phone number asking for answers, and hold up, what? He can't possibly be serious. I'm going to call him M for anonymity. He posted his phone number. This was posted only a week ago. It's possibly a troll or another scam. But when I Google his phone number, I find a website for a dog walking service by a man with the same name of M, featuring the same phone number he posted in the review. I sent M an email and a text, and I explained to him that my goal was ultimately to expose the site, and I am still hoping he will respond. Now, back to the reviews. I noticed a review that vents their frustration in not being able to send the company more money. Their debit card declined the transaction, and upon contacting their bank, they found that OrchidRomance.com's payment processor puts them into an escort service category. I noticed one of the reviews say that this is a copy of another site, LatinFeels.com. Another review says it's a clone of EasternHoneys.com, AsianFeels.com, AsianMelodies.com, and other sites that operate with the exact same script, simply replacing some of the base images, or in some cases, not replacing any images at all. So, from the series of clone blogs, we have a series of clone dating websites, all obviously run by the same people with the exact same scam-to-pay talk method. So, there are dozens, if not hundreds more, blogs, Facebook sites, Reddit accounts, but why? Well, it's not uncommon for people to buy domains in bulk and use blogs for search engine optimization. The goal is to raise their visibility on Google so others stumble upon their site. The site is often meaningless, but will either have some form of pay-per-view or pay-per-click ad revenue service that developers can easily make a few cents on. It can range from a simple referral link to another website to the endless tidal wave of pop-ups we all fear. If you don't know anything about websites, domains can be extremely cheap, and hosting hundreds or even thousands of websites can be extremely cheap as well. And again, for the uninformed, credit card processing is tricky, and when dealing with non-tangible goods such as digital services, subscriptions, and adult content, there's an even higher rate of chargeback. For these reasons, your standard processors such as Shopify, Stripe, Square, KeyBank, etc. do not allow these kinds of services to be sold on their platform. Many places use what is known as a high-risk credit card processor, a company that specializes in taking payments in categories that have higher chargeback rates. These companies specialize in fighting chargebacks and preventing the seller from losing money. How this is done varies, but the reason for it being billed as an escort service is likely because they are using a high-risk credit card processor to bill it as such, and not necessarily some sinister human trafficking plot. Now, when I was looking for reviews, I came to Trustpilot. I'd seen a series of other websites that gave positive reviews to Orchid Romance. A bunch of them, actually. Their URLs followed a similar pattern. AsianBride.me, YoungAsianBrides.com, BridesClub.org, BrideWoman.net, YourGlobalBride.com, BrightBrides.org. I think it goes without saying, whoever's responsible for all these fake review sites is likely the creator of these clone dating sites. So now we have fake clone blogs advertising basically fake clone dating websites, which are fake positively reviewed on fake cloned review sites. All of this might seem like a lot of work, but anyone who's made a website and refused to put any effort knows how easy it is to scale an operation like this, especially if they're using a pre-installed content management system to handle the dating site aspect. And just based on the sheer number of angry reviews, I have to assume they made a decent amount of money. It goes without saying that most people who get scammed by fake women online don't head straight to Trustpilot to leave an angry review and reveal their life details, so the sheer number of people on here tells me the actual number of victims is likely very, very high. On top of that, when you start looking at the other sites they own, the exact same type of reviews pour in. Most of them share commonalities. They are all men, often from the UK or Australia. Most don't appear to have tremendous reading or writing skills, but all share the same experience. They felt duped out of money while never actually connecting with any women. The girls always failed to meet them, couldn't give them a phone number, or ultimately tried to get them to move to another scam site to continue spending. They were clear that the nature of the communications was explicitly sexual from the jump, which, again, may be a red flag for some, but apparently was overlooked by these people. I will give credit to the creators of this website, however, for using Cloudflare in an attempt to hide their IP. I was curious if every site is all hosted on the same server. Immediate pinging returned Cloudflare's IP, so at least they're trying. Combine that with the fact that they purchased all the domains at Namecheap with domain privacy, and Namecheap hosts their DNS in Iceland, a country notorious for its strict internet privacy laws, I thought it might be a bit more difficult to identify them. So maybe I won't be able to identify the owner, but I might be able to identify the host. So let's dig a little bit deeper into the original site, AsianMoonshine.com. Using the simple tool built with, I can quickly look at some of the scripts working on the original site that this commercial wanted me to go to, and it's just filled with ad tracking stuff. Part of the original blog's purpose is to target you later for advertisements, including targeted Facebook ads. For some reason, they are using Shopify, even though they don't appear to sell anything. So how do I go about finding out where they are? Well, I can't. I can only really find out where their servers are hosted. When I look at their IP, I can see it's protected by Cloudflare. This is true for all of the websites, all of the fake blogs, all of the fake review sites, all of the fake dating websites. Scammers using Cloudflare to hide their IP is very common, and getting around this legally can be difficult sometimes. But also, sometimes people do stupid things, like leak their IP on a subdomain or use their own mail server. In this case, Orchid Romance had an N subdomain that was not protected by Cloudflare and showed the hosting provider, OVHSAS, a virtual private server in France. A quick lookup of the N subdomain shows me their IP address, and a reverse IP lookup shows me all the other domains that are hosted on it, which returns with a whopping 258 domains. Immediately, some of them look familiar from the reviews. We can see that Asian Melodies, Eastern Honeys, and Latin Feels are all indeed hosted on the same IP, along with 258 other domains. But no, this may not be an exhaustive list. A quick look into a few of the others show that most of them are dating sites too. 40 that I checked independently are Orchid Romance, Asia Feels, Talkie Space, Eastern Honeys, Asian Melodies, Romance Tale, Cupid Feel, Amor Factory, Emily Dates, Lavito, Jolly.me, Hipmatch, Mormer, Violet Dates, Love Fort, Fanfills, VChate, Genlove, Johnju, Wait for Date, Hibly, Victoria Dates, Jolly Romance, DatingPartners.biz, LatinFeels.com, Valentine, OhMyLove.com, Loverworld.com, or more, Asian Charm, Charmerly, The Lucky Date, Cool Matching, Bravo Date, Ormany, Hey Amor, Laverly, LA Date, Amo Mama, Evlory, and DatingBloom.com. These all return the same or similar dating websites. So, for now, we kind of have an answer. These ads are to collect user data and ultimately redirect you to a scam dating website. We know the number of websites are likely in the hundreds. We know they're all owned by the same people for the express purpose of ripping people off. And we know they are trying to hide their identity and server locations. And this concludes my first episode of I Shouldn't Have Clicked That. If you or anyone you know has been a victim of one of these dating websites and would like to share their experience, please contact me or comment below.
And I would like to give you a few reasons why you should consider dating a young Asian lady. You can choose a potential spouse from Vietnam, the Philippines, Thailand, or Indonesia. The geography is boundless. Have you noticed that Asian women have become more and more popular? I mean that they are everywhere, in famous magazines, on Instagram as top bloggers, on the runways, and on billboards. More importantly, they are in men's heart. True, they are this popular because most of them have everything that an object of fascination is supposed to have: natural beauty, stunning bodies, and charisma like temper. Yes, these ladies are beautiful, and even you can't deny that a lot of men are physically attracted to them. Anyway, Asian women truly respect and appreciate American men. These ladies are passionate, they have been raised to respect traditional and family values. American guys are usually less passionate and emotional than Asian men. It might seem that this could stop local girls from looking for a foreign husband, but opposite attract. They like men from American countries because they are more ambitious, financially and socially responsible, and after all, they are just more rational. Lots of girls are dreaming of a good husband from America. So, what's the problem? Choose a dating site, a few weeks of conversation, personal meeting, and voila, a new happy couple is here. And of course, Asians speak English fluently. It's important, right? Yes. There are lots of translation tools to make a convo between foreign people clear, but it's always easier and more pleasant to have a nice conversation with a girl without a translator's help. Have you ever noticed how the members of Oriental families treat each other? This is what men get when they marry an Asian. Family and motherhood are sacred to most girls from Asian countries. Women bring harmony to men's lives and special tradition where their husband can feel at home and enjoy the safe harbor. Asian women do not pay much attention to the age difference. They do believe that a good personality stands first. More of it, they likely prefer men over 40 because they are more wise and stable. Sounds perfect, right? So why wait? Dare and take what is yours. Click the link below and take a 2-minute compatibility test with a young Asian lady.